Baruch, Boker Tov. We're continuing Siman Reish Nun Daled toward the end of Seif Hey. We spoke yesterday about if a person puts bread into the oven before Shabbat, and so he puts dough in, and it needs to be, before Shabbat starts, at least a third done. She said at least that it's kind of crispy a little bit on the outside, brown a little bit, and that if you were to open it, it wouldn't be stringy and doughy. Then it would be already a third done. So then you won't come to the higher or lower the flame because you could already eat it at that stage. Now, if you put it in, the Shulchan Aruch continues. If a person put it in b'mezid on purpose and in a way that's asur, then you can't benefit from it on Shabbat and ad motzei Shabbat because asu. Fine. But if, let's say, it was done by accident, and someone said, "Well, you put it in the bread, you put it in dough by accident. You didn't. What are you doing over here? It's asur." If it was done by accident, and if the person doesn't have bread for the 3 seudot of Shabbat, then a person could benefit from it on Shabbat because, again, he's in that type of situation. The Mishnah Berurah brings down something interesting, that if, let's say, accidentally it was something that was cooked on Shabbat accidentally, then that you can't benefit from. He says the difference is the bread you need for the meals, and technically you could be yotzeh your meal technically with bread alone. But if, let's say, that's the only food that you have, this actual food, that's the only food that you have, the tafshil, then you could benefit from it on Shabbat if you're in that type of situation. Now, it does bring down that back in the day this is more applicable, where if someone bakes bread nowadays, they put the dough in the oven, they take the bread out, like they would take out any cookies, any normal thing. Back in the day, it was like, I guess if you've seen a matzah bakery, there's a special, it's called rediata pat, a special thing that they, like a pizza thing, that to take out the bread. And especially the ones that were back in the day that they would like stick to the oven, like lafas type of thing. You need a special type of thing to take out the bread. So if you're taking out the bread on Shabbat with that thing, it's like, whoa, this guy's baking on Shabbat. What's going on over here? So you can't take it out in that type of way because then it looks like it was baked on Shabbat. And the last halacha for today is Seif Vav, is that if a person put say he put something in the oven. Let's say this dough, he put it in b'mezid, he put it in on purpose. Now, then he does teshuvah. So he puts in this dough on purpose. I don't care, Shabbat, I don't care, I'm putting it in. And now he realizes, you know what, I did the wrong thing, I want to do teshuvah. So can you take the bread out? So you might say, well, it's not an issue to take the bread out. Take it out, let's say, before it becomes actual bread. So that's what you need to do. I mean, where would there be an issue? Because dough is muktzeh, and because what purpose do you have with dough on Shabbat? Nowadays, if people eat dough, whatever, cookie dough, whatever but dough in general is muktzeh because it's meant for only baking, and therefore there's nothing to do with it on Shabbat. So you're going to pull out dough from the oven, you're violating the derabanan of muktzeh. But I'm violating the derabanan in order not to violate a deoraita of baking on Shabbat. And that's allowed. You're allowed to violate a derabanan to prevent yourself from violating a deoraita. If, let's say, it was a pot and food that I don't care if Shabbat, I'm putting it on to cook. And then before it cooks, before you violate, because the violation happens when the bishul happens, when there's actually cooking. If you take it off a minute later, nothing happened yet. So if a minute later you say, you know what, I want to do teshuvah, I'm sorry. So you want to take the thing off? You could. And there's no derabanan violation there because a pot is not muktzeh. So there for sure you could take it off. And here the chidush is, it's a violation, a derabanan violation that you're doing. Well, it's better to do a derabanan than deoraita, so take out the bread, take out the dough, and not violate a deoraita. Minchat tonight at 6:15. Tomorrow Shacharit is here. Unfortunately, plans changed to the chief rabbi. Very unfortunate. We're very excited for him to come, but unfortunately he's not going to be coming, and therefore plans are as usual. Tomorrow morning, B'ezrat Hashem, 6 a.m. here, and followed by Shacharit. So B'ezrat Hashem will be zochet to have him a different time. Minchat 6:15. Have a good day, everyone. Tanan V'Eliyahu.